So we know we have to start with the creation of a database followed by table. So for this particular case, we need to understand the basic syntax of a database to how to it should be created. So we have the syntax with the keyword called create database and catalog. So here catalog is actually the database name. So once the database has been created, we need to insert a table into the catalog database. For that, we have a particular syntax of the create table. So for the syntax would be as such as given over here. The create table persons. So persons is the table name, then followed by within the ground brackets, we have to make an enclosure of all the fields one after the other. The first is an int ID, ID of int type. It's not null. Then next comes the username. That's a variable type of characters of 255 of margin or length. Therefore, then it should be not null. Then followed by the address of worker 255 of length. Then age of int and salary of int. They have a specific range of carrying their range values. And here the ID is been set as a primary key. So we have to first initially create a database. Then once the database has been created, we have to create a table inside. So these two goes one after the other. In the catalog database, we can see the person is residing. So let's go to the share of the page where we have the Management Studio. And we need to discuss on Management Studio. We need to debug these queries. So now we have Management Studio opened. Now we have the new query designer window. We need to click over here. So once the new query window is open, we can create our own database here. So we have to go for the option create database, and we can name it as catalog customer. And once it has been done, we have to give an execution key. So we can see this command has been successfully ended up. So we can see if we refresh this database table, we can see the customer table is available in the listing of the database tree. You can see the customer table is now available, catalog customer is now available, and see the tables are vacant. So we have to make use of this customer catalog database, and accordingly we have to go for creating a table. So the keywords goes as follows. So use customer catalog customer, referring to the customer catalog database. We are interested to create a table. So we have to copy and paste, or we can hard code the table format. So create table persons where IDs of int not null, user number of worker not null, address of worker to 55 length, agent and salary with predefined range values. Then the primary key. And once this has been done, we can give an execution key. So in this customer catalog customer database, we can see the person would be available. So we can see the command has been successfully ended up. So here we need a refresh of the database table, customer catalog. Once the refresh has been done, we can see this particular table is available. The person is now available. And we open the person tree, we can with the columns. So we can see all the fields are assigned one after the other. Now we can open up the person table, edit up to 100 rows. Or we can go for the design view to get an overall picture of how the table looks like. See, the ID is set as a primary key by default. Now we can go for an option to see its identity specification that says. So this would mean that ID field should be auto-implemented each time. Now we can open up the table with edit top 200 rows. So we can name each of the fields one after the other manually first. Organization, we can name it as Bangalore. We can give it as 24, 123,000. So here it's an ID is primary key, but it is not an auto increment, so we need to insert some value. So ID is corresponding to 1. Now for 2, we can give it as Suresh. Once each field has been completed, we need to give a trigger option for executing the query for the table to get set with the multiple columns. Now we can go back to the query designer window. We can remove the table here, and we can go for the insertion command. So insert into the table name. That's persons. And accordingly, we can give the corresponding field names there. Then this we can name it as, and each of the string quantities needs to be the single quotes on the top. Then followed by the address, we can name it as Washington. Then age we can give it as before. Then followed by the salary we can give it as 44,000. So once it's been done, we have to check for syntactic errors, so it's get resolved. So we can give an execution key now. So we can see the boundary is not affected. So we can go to the table now and give a click. We can see this 3 is available. Now we can go on entering another value here, corresponding to 4. We can name a different name here. And we have to make sure the syntactic, there is no syntactic errors available in here. We can name it as London. And it's corresponding to 4. So we can give an execution. So we are seeing, we are noticing a slight difference in the syntax. So there is one extra column available here. We have to remove that and give an execution. See, there is one affected. So correspondingly with the ID with 4 will be getting inserted over here. We can give an execution. So these are the database creation for a table and insertion all together works together here.